All right, let's go on a bit of an adventure. We're going to shrink ourselves down and take a journey inside. We're talking about the microscopic world of histology. That's the study of the incredible, tiny little cells and tissues that, well, make you you. I mean, have you ever really thought about it? What are you actually made of? We're not just talking about skin and bones. We're going way, way deeper to the fundamental building blocks of your entire existence. So let's dive in. So, to really get a handle on this, we're going to use a metaphor, and it's a pretty cool one. I want you to picture every single cell in your body as its own tiny, bustling, super complex city. And the study of all these little cellular cities, that's called histology. We're going to start our tour at ground zero, the most basic unit, the citizen of this whole operation, the cell itself. Okay, here's our map for the tour. This is a basic human cell, showing all the major parts, but here's the crazy part. This is just a general template. Your body actually has over 250 different types of these cell cities, and each one is a specialist with a very particular job. So every city needs a command center, right? A city hall. For the cell, that's the nucleus. This is where the master blueprint, your DNA, is stored. And from here, all the orders are sent out to keep the entire city running just the way it's supposed to. Of course, a city is dead without power. That's where the mitochondria come in. You can think of these as the power plants. They are working around the clock, 24/7, turning food into energy to keep the lights on and everything else humming along. Next up, we've got the ribosomes. These are like the tiny little factories all over the city. And they have one super important job: building proteins. Proteins are the building blocks for just about everything: the infrastructure, the workers, you name it. So once these proteins are made in the factories, how do they get to where they need to be? Well, that's the job of the Golgi apparatus. It's basically the city's main post office. It sorts, packages, and ships everything out to exactly where it needs to go, inside or even outside the city walls. Speaking of city walls, let's head over to the city limits. Every city has to have a border, right? Something to control what comes in and what goes out. For our cell, that's the plasma membrane. Now, this is not some big, dumb brick wall. It's an incredibly smart, flexible barrier. It's made of something called a phospholipid bilayer. Just think of it as two layers of fatty molecules. And you see those things embedded in it? Those are proteins, and they act like gates, security checkpoints, and tunnels, carefully controlling absolutely everything that tries to cross the border. And stuff gets across this border in two main ways. First, there's passive transport. This takes zero energy. It's basically like floating down a river, moving from where there's a lot of something to where there's less. But then you've got active transport. This is the hard stuff. This is like trying to swim upriver. The cell has to burn energy to force things against that natural flow. This image really shows you the difference. See on the left? That's passive transport. Molecules are just flowing through a channel from high concentration to low. Easy, no energy spent. But look at the pump on the right. That's active transport. It's physically using energy to change its shape and push those molecules across. This is how the cell takes total control of what's inside. Okay, so we've got our city, we know how it works, but where did it come from in the first place? Who designed it? Well, for that, we have to talk about the master planners, the chief architects of the entire body, the amazing stem cells. So, what is a stem cell? It's pretty much a blank slate. It's a totally unspecialized cell that has this incredible, almost magical potential to become nearly any other kind of specialized cell city in the entire metropolis that is you. See, in the very earliest stages of life, embryonic stem cells are what we call pluripotent. That's just a fancy word meaning they can become anything, any of the more than 200 cell types in the whole body. They have total potential. Now, as we grow, other stem cells become multipotent. They're still master planners, but they're a bit more specialized. Think of an architect who only designs houses. They can still build lots of different kinds of houses, but they're not building skyscrapers. And here's a perfect example of this happening inside you right this second. This is called hematopoiesis. It's how your body makes blood. It all starts with one single master planner in your bone marrow, the hemopoietic stem cell. Just follow the branches down. You can see how that one cell type gives rise to everything. Red blood cells for oxygen, platelets for clotting, all the different white blood cells for your immune system. It's just mind-blowing. One cell creates all that diversity. Okay, so we've toured our individual cities, but cities don't just exist all by themselves, right? They clump together into neighborhoods and districts. In our bodies, we call these tissues. And you know, when you get right down to it, There are really only four major types of tissue. These four are the basic fabrics that get woven together to create every single organ and system in your body: epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous. Now, this is a perfect example of how a tissue's design determines its job. On the left, you've got this loose, kind of web-like tissue. It's open and airy, which makes it perfect for gently cushioning our organs. But then look at the right. That's dense, fibrous tissue. All the fibers are packed in tight, all pointing in the same direction. That structure gives it incredible strength, which is exactly what you want for tough ligaments and tendons. And here's another awesome contrast. On the left, muscle tissue. See how it's all long, bundled fibers? That structure is built to do one thing really, really well: contract and create movement. Now look at the nervous tissue on the right. Totally different. You see these individual cells with long, spindly arms reaching out? Their structure isn't about force, it's all about communication, sending tiny electrical signals all over your body. So, let's do a quick recap of our tour. We've learned that histology lets us peer into our own microscopic world. We saw how a cell works just like a bustling little city, with the plasma membrane acting as its border patrol. We met the master planning stem cells, and we saw how all these cities group together to form the four major tissues that build everything. And that kind of leaves us with one final big question to think about. If every single one of the trillions of cells inside you is a complex, working city, then what does that make you? A nation? A whole planet? A universe? It's a pretty incredible way to think about the amazing biological machine you get to live in every single day.